Hello, seventh graders. Mrs. Harding here, your English language arts teacher. And today we're going to be looking at an excerpt from Frederick Douglass' narrative that you've already read several times. And we're going to dive into it one last time to look at how he used different words to create a stronger position and to have a more powerful voice and to really create an impact for the reader. So we're going to be looking at this one here right now in this video, and I want you to read it to yourself while I read it to you. And while I read and you read it to yourself, think about the answer to this question. Why does Douglas describe the clothing that slaves were given in such detail? And also, what do you think he's trying to show? So here is the excerpt. Their yearly clothing consisted of two coarse linen shirts, one pair of linen trousers, like the shirts, one jacket, one pair of trousers for winter, made of coarse Negro cloth, one pair of stockings, and one pair of shoes, the whole of which could not have cost more than $7. Okay, so we're going to be thinking about the big picture, like the author's purpose, what he's trying to get across to us here, and also the smaller picture, such as word choice, what words he used to get across his viewpoints. Okay, so we just read that sentence through. I want you to read it to yourself one more time, and then we're going to dive into it a little bit more together. So just take a moment. You can pause the video if you need to, and read that sentence to yourself one more time. Okay, I'm hoping you paused the video and had enough time to reread that. So think now to yourself, why do you think that Frederick Douglass described the clothing in such detail? He could have just said the slaves were given a small amount of clothes and been done. Why do you think he wanted to describe it in so many detail? And also, what details did he provide? One of the things that I noticed is he used the word coarse 2 times. What does coarse mean? Coarse means rough. It's the opposite of soft. So with him saying coarse and using that detail, that adjective, it helps us to understand that they were given not only a small amount of clothes, but they were given clothes that were uncomfortable, that made their lives even more uncomfortable than they already were. Um, why do you think that he might have described the clothes that way? Do you think it would be as meaningful or impactful or powerful if he would have just said that they got that their yearly allowance was 2 linen shirts? You know, maybe as a reader, my only experience with linen is something nice and soft and almost luxurious sometimes. He wants to be very clear and make sure that the reader understands the difficulty of what the slaves had encountered. So he wants to make sure that there are details in there that provide that impact and also that clarity. That's why he puts in coarse, so we understand that they were uncomfortable and rough. What do you think about if he would have just said, the slaves don't get many clothes to wear? That would have been accurate, right? But does that have as much of an impact? Is that as powerful? No, of course not. This helps the reader understand more what the conditions were like for slaves. It's with all those details, we can really understand more what they went through, and it has much more of an impact for the reader. I would like you to go through this process now with the next excerpts in this lesson, where you just read slowly through the passage and try to find the answer to the question that is given, and then reread again. Remember to do a close reading, but really what I want you to do is look for ways that Frederick Douglass wrote details or used certain words, maybe even repeated them like he did in this passage, saying course twice. But what words does he use, and does he maybe repeat? What details does he add in? Does he use figurative language or colorful details to help you see and feel the way that the slaves did? What kind of words does he use? So look at his word choice and think about what impact does that have? How does it make his writing more powerful? And how does it make you as a reader understand better the conditions that the slaves experienced?